Health Minister says no subsidies for a lower PCR test rate. Government is reviewing plan to remove premium category fuel. Hello, good evening. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sectors. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. And please stay safe by taking some simple precautions, such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. With me, Wicky Adrian, this is Market Headlines. In a press conference, Minister of Health Budi Gunadi Sadikin said the government did not plan to provide subsidies for PCR tests, even though President Joko Widodo asked for the PCR test rate to be reduced to 300,000 rupiah.
Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin said the government did not plan to provide subsidies for polymerase chain reaction or PCR test, even though President Joko Widodo asked for the PCR test rate to be reduced to 300,000 rupiah. Budi said that the government had not even seriously discussed subsidies for PCR test until now.
Jadi kalau misalnya diturunkan ke 300.000, itu mungkin masuk 10% kuartal yang paling murah dibandingkan dengan harga PCR airport di dunia. Yang paling bawah memang India. India murah sekali, 160 ribuan. Tapi memang India karena itu adalah negara yang paling murah untuk semuanya, gitu ya, selain Cina. Karena memang mereka juga punya produksinya di dalam negeri. Kemudian itu tadi subsidi, pemerintah tidak merencanakan ada subsidi. Ya, karena memang kalau kita lihat harganya, apalagi sudah diturunkan, itu sudah cukup murah.
Budi explained that the subsidy was not given because the PCR test rates in Indonesia were already very cheap compared to other countries. The PCR test rate, which was originally 900,000 rupiah at several Indonesian airports, is even at the lowest level of 25% in the world. Budi further indicated that the PCR test rate in Indonesia cannot be equated with the tariff in India, which is only 160,000 rupiah. Because according to him, India already has domestic production of PCR tests. IDX Channel reports.
Coordinating Minister of Economic Affairs believes that the National Economic Recovery Program budget can be realized 100% by the end of this year. Meantime, as of October 2021, the National Economic Recovery budget has only absorbed 58.3% of total allocation.
Coordinating Minister for the Economy Erlangga Hartarto believes that the National Economic Recovery Program budget can be realized 100% by the end of 2021. Erlangga explained that the projection could be achieved because the government still has to pay claims for treating COVID-19 patients and distributing incentives for medical personnel.
Sampai dengan akhir tahun akan meningkat atau akan bisa mencapai 100% atau bahkan lebih karena memang ada penanganan terkait dengan varian Delta yang klaim rumah sakit juga mengalami peningkatan. Apa yang tadi diputuskan yaitu adalah program bantuan subsidi upah, di mana bantuan subsidi upah diperluas yang semula hanya diberlakukan untuk mereka yang dikenakan PPKM level 4 dan 3. Target penerimanya adalah 8.783.350 dengan DIPA-nya adalah 8,7 triliun dan terdapat sisa dana BSU sebesar 1 triliun.
On the other hand, the government also optimizes the remaining social assistance budget for other programs. Most recently, the government will add 1.6 million recipients of wage subsidy assistance with a budget amounting to 1.6 trillion rupiah. His party will also provide assistance of 300,000 rupiah to the poor to reduce the level of extreme poverty. As of October 22, 2021, the National Economic Recovery Budget has only absorbed 58.3% of 433.91 trillion rupiah from the 744.77 trillion ceiling. IDX Channel reports.
Coordinating Minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment Luhut Binsar Panjaitan has assured that the government is providing several relaxations to support battery and electric vehicle investment in Indonesia. The minister said that the facility includes preparing a roadmap for the development of EV, calculating the local content requirements, which provide opportunities to investors to develop domestic supply chains, as well as providing 0% sales tax incentives on luxury goods for battery-based electric vehicles. To encourage the development of battery-based EV in Indonesia, Luhut asked all parties need to focus on developing a strong EV ecosystem. For information, the electronic vehicle ecosystem consists of EV and supporting components, such as the electric battery industry, electric battery recycling industry, and charging station and battery swapping networks. After pulling investment, Luhut ensures that the government will encourage the construction of charging stations and battery swapping networks with the help of state-owned enterprises such as PLN and Pertamina, as well as the private sector. Moving on to global update, World Bank turns down IMF's boss appeal to defend herself against claims that she pressured staff to change data. Meanwhile, Google owner Alphabet beat expectation for third quarter revenue. More stories on today's International Minute.
The World Bank's board has turned down a request by IMF's managing director Kristalina Georgieva for a meeting to defend herself against claims that she pressured staff to alter data as the bank's CEO in 2017, two sources told Reuters news agency. An attorney hired by Georgieva asked for the meeting in a 17-page letter on Friday to the dean of the bank's board. The attorney wrote that an investigation report prepared by the WilmerHale law firm for the board was improperly conducted, violated Georgieva's due process rights. Google owner Alphabet beat expectations for third quarter revenue, a positive sign that its advertising business is overcoming new limits on tracking mobile users and sending its shares up slightly. Through its search engine, YouTube video service, and partnerships across the web, Google sells more internet ads than any other company. Google advertising revenue rose to $53.1 billion during the third quarter, and Alphabet's overall sales jumped to $65.1 billion. The Central Bank of Nigeria joined a growing list of emerging markets betting on digital money to cut transaction costs and boost participation in the formal financial system. President Muhammadu Buhari said the adoption of the central bank digital currency can increase Nigeria's gross domestic product by $29 billion over the next 10 years. The issuance of the digital currency, called the e-Naira, comes after the central bank earlier in February outlawed banks and financial institutions from transacting or operating in cryptocurrencies as they pose a threat to the financial system. A U.S. government panel has voted to recommend the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine should to be given to children aged 5 to 11. The Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, experts backed the move on Thursday, paving the way for emergency authorization within a matter of weeks. In September, the company said its trial data showed the COVID jab was safe for children in that age group. The U.S. is already giving the vaccine to those aged 12 and over. This latest decision affects some 28 million U.S. children. IDX Channel reports.
Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Kini aplikasi mClears hadir di handphone Anda untuk memudahkan transaksi Anda. Informasi aktivitas clearing dan penjaminan tidak lagi hanya dapat diakses melalui komputer di kantor Anda, melainkan dapat diakses di mana saja dan kapan saja dalam genggaman Anda. Fitur-fitur mClears. Equity clearing dan settlement adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi kewajiban settlement anggota clearing hingga nilai alternate case settlement serta informasi gagal bayar. Risk management adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, kolateral, MKBD, portofolio harian, risk charge anggota clearing dan kombinasi, serta nilai minimum cash collateral. Derivatif adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, margin call, dan informasi clearing derivatif. Terkait pinjam-meminjam efek, terdapat fitur mengenai borrowing information dan lendable pool information, serta lending revenue dan borrowing fee. Serta menu lain yang menampilkan informasi mengenai haircut, risk charge saham, dan nilai harga penyelesaian harian dan harga penyelesaian final. Selain itu, Anda juga dapat mengakses fitur pengumuman, peraturan, dan informasi layanan KPEI pada aplikasi mClears. Download aplikasi mClears di App Store atau Google Play Store. Lakukan registrasi user Anda dengan menggunakan alamat email berdomain resmi yang sesuai dengan anggota clearing Anda. Setelah registrasi, Anda akan diberikan kode OTP di email Anda untuk verifikasi, dan aplikasi mClears Anda siap untuk digunakan. Anda dapat mengakses seluruh menu pada aplikasi mClears dengan melakukan aktivasi berlangganan premium yang dapat dilakukan dengan memilih menu Get Premium. Download aplikasinya sekarang, lakukan registrasi, dan dapatkan kemudahan dalam genggaman tangan Anda. Kemudahan informasi KPEI dalam genggaman Anda.
Welcome back. The government ensures seriousness in reviewing the elimination of fuel with an octane rating of 88 or premium. Later, Pertalite will replace premium as the lowest octane product marketed by Pertamina.
The government ensures seriousness in reviewing the elimination of fuel with an octane rating of 88 or premium. Later, fuel with RON 90 or Pertalite will replace premium as the lowest octane product marketed by Pertamina. Director of Downstream Oil and Gas Business Development at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Suryaningsih, say that the government is still conducting studies on the elimination of premium. The discussion is even more intensive in line with the declining premium consumption in the market.
Juga sudah semakin kecil satu, karena masyarakat itu udah shifting ke Pertalite. Premium ini mana ya? Hanya tinggal 7 negara loh yang pakai premium itu, dan kita pun berkomitmen untuk memperbaiki kondisi lingkungan, sehingga terkait dengan premium ini dipikirkan ke depan mungkin Pertalite akan bisa menggantikan premium. Kemudian komitmen kita untuk menyediakan BBM yang ramah lingkungan. Tapi semua itu pastinya sedang kita kaji, dan yang pasti ya harus mendapatkan persetujuan dari Bapak Presiden gitu.
On the other hand, although the quality of Pertalite is better than premium, Suryaningsih said it is still necessary to improve the quality of fuel. She hopes that in the future there will be an environmentally friendly fuel roadmap. However, this plan will continue to be reviewed and must be approved by President Joko Widodo. IDX Channel reports.
After the United Arab Emirates Sovereign Wealth Fund has invested $400 million, the GoTo Group's valuation is projected has reached $32 billion.
GoTo Group's valuation continues to increase along with the implementation of the pre-IPO fundraising for Indonesia's largest digital ecosystem group. Reuters Breaking Views projects that after the United Arab Emirates Sovereign Wealth Fund has invested $400 million, the GoTo Group's valuation has reached $32 billion. As GoTo's valuation continues to increase, the group's former investors are projected to have made huge profits. As is known, Astra International and Telekomunikasi Indonesia, through their subsidiary Telkomsel, are known to have invested in GoTo when they were still in the Gojek entity. Other local investors such as the Jarum Group through its subsidiary Global Digital Niaga also invested in Gojek. Astra, Telkomsel and Jarum have invested when the valuation of the largest digital technology company in Indonesia was still low. With the increasing valuation of the GoTo Group shares, the investment value of the three entities is projected to increase by tens of percent. Assuming GoTo's current valuation is $30 billion, the estimated internal rate of return that has been obtained by domestic institutional investors, such as the Telkom Group, which is almost a year in, is 6.97% on a monthly basis, or equivalent to 83.66% per year. Meanwhile, Astra International earned 32% per year and Jarum earned 42% per year. IDX Channel report.
The Financial Services Authority, or OJK, officially launched the blueprint for digital banking transformation. The blueprint provided rules in the form of general principles to offer space for the industry to develop. The blueprint also facilitated and encouraged digital innovation without ignoring the precautionary principle. The blueprint will continue to be improved to accommodate the dynamics of the banking business. Through the blueprint for digital banking transformation, OJK will provide guidelines on 5 elements, which are data, technology, risk management, collaboration, and institutional arrangements. The OJK will regulate data transfer that includes types of customer data, parties, as well as data exchange arrangements.
Data protection ini apa yang akan kita berikan panduan tentunya terkait dengan akurasi, ya, terkait dengan pembatasan penyimpanan seperti apa, tentunya juga integriti dan rahasia dari data itu juga nanti akan ada pedomannya. Tentunya juga terkait juga akuntabilitas, kemudian juga ini sifatnya juga minimalisasi data, kemudian juga pembatasan tujuan data itu untuk apa. Tentunya yang paling penting adalah juga data itu juga harus sah, ya, harus adil.
OJK reported that a total of 2,593 branch offices of various banks had been closed amid digitalization in the financial industry.
OJK reported that a total of 2,593 branch offices of various banks had been closed amid digitization in the financial industry being accelerated.
17 hingga Agustus 2021 terdapat sejumlah 2.593 kantor yang mengalami penurunan dan juga ada peningkatan transaksi mobile banking dan internet banking yang naik lebih dari 300% dari tahun 2016 hingga Agustus 2021. 2015 ke tahun 2020 ini meningkat hampir 4.000%. Ketersediaan layanan digital onboarding, di mana terdapat 18 bank yang telah menyediakan layanan digital onboarding.
Supangkat pointed to an over 300% increase in mobile banking transactions from 2016 to August 2021, while internet banking transactions rose by 50%. The Deputy Commissioner recorded an increase in realization of digital banking services from 85 online banking services in 2018 that increased to 112 in 2019 and 124 in 2020. IDX Channel reports.
Stay with us because Market Alliance will be right back after the break.
Inspirasi inspirasinya dari mana, bisa yakin gitu untuk kita membentuk home care 24.
Karena satu panggilan jiwa ya, di Indonesia belum ada menggeluti dunia bisnis health tech.
Jangan cuma ngelihat langit, tapi juga ingat bahwa kaki kita tuh masih di tanah gitu. Jangan cuma lihat cuan, tapi ingat masih ada risiko kerugian.
Apa yang bisa pelajari dari rugi? Karena kan pasti ada momen di mana seorang investor itu dia rugi, portofolionya itu merah.
Nomor satu banget yang paling penting disadari oleh pemula yaitu manajemen resiko. Investasi itu bukan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan hidup, harus tetap kerja. Trading untuk membantu kita mencapai tujuan hidup.
Jadi PT Paragon itu kan memang masih sebuah private company gitu.
Tetap ada responsibility, saya setuju tadi.
Mendevelop tim, ya kan, what can I help you, empower gitu kan, gimana supaya prosesnya lebih efektif.
Lebih bisa berkembang lagi, punya.
Aku percaya kita semua kan lahir dengan sebuah visi gitu. Aku melihat bahwa edukasi anak-anak ini adalah hal penting yang bukan cuma tanggung jawab orang tua, tapi tanggung jawab orang-orang yang memiliki passion atau gerakan di bidang itu. Nah, aku merasa visi aku adalah di edukasi anak-anak. Aku tahu persis bahwa aku mau membantu anak-anak Indonesia dalam ranah ini.
Dilihat dari sektor UMKM nampaknya sudah mulai terasa itu Pak.
Ya, kalau kita lihat dari indikator kredit ya untuk UMKM, ini memang sudah menunjukkan bahwa ekonomi UMKM mulai bertumbuh.
We're in the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. Earlier today, JCI was opened at the level of 6,664.37. Then the index was approaching the closing time. On the first session, the index was on the level of 6,605.44. Then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,602.21. In short, JCI went down 0.82%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got cyclic as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 0.92%, and health went up 0.58%. And we got non-cyclic as the leader of the weakening trend that went down 1.39%, and finance went down 1.23%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. SMGR went down 3.28% to the level of 8,650 rupiah per share. KLBF went up 3.9% to the level of 1,600 rupiah per share. Friend went up 4.17% to the level of 100 rupiah per share. And Buka went up 1.44% to the level of 705 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got Bank BRI went down 1.38% to level 4,290 rupiah per share. BBCA went down 1% to the level of 7,450 rupiah per share. BBNI went down 2.75% to the level of 7,075 rupiah per share. And Unilever went down 2.16% to level 4,540 rupiah per share. And we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,165 rupiah, was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar. It was closed at the level of 14,174. In summary, rupiah went down 0.14%. Until the third quarter of 2021, Bank Negara Indonesia or BBNI managed to record a net profit growth of 73.9% year-on-year.
Until the third quarter of 2021, Bank Negara Indonesia or BBNI managed to record a net profit growth of 73.9% year-on-year. The net profit achievement rose from 4.3 trillion rupiah at the end of September 2020 to 7.7 trillion rupiah in the third quarter of 2021. BNI's President Director Royke Tumilar stated that this profit growth mainly came from the growth of fee-based income and net interest income, respectively by 16.8% and 17.6% year-on-year. He also said that this achievement is also the result of BNI's digital transformation, one of which is aimed at strengthening capabilities in transactional banking. On the other hand, BNI recorded a very healthy low-cost fund-raising performance, one of the factors supporting solid credit, while the composition of low-cost funds, or CASA, reached 69.7% of the total third-party funds, or the highest in the last 10 years. CASA grew 8% year-on-year from 431.3 trillion rupiah in the third quarter of 2020 to 465.7 trillion in the third quarter of this year. CASA dominates third-party funds, which also grew 1.4% to 668.55 trillion rupiah at the end of September 2021. IDX Channel reports.
During the first 6 months of this year, Fajar experienced a decrease in net profit to 10.42 billion rupiah from 26.8 billion rupiah in the same period in 2020. Based on the financial report in first semester, the sales value of Fajar was recorded at 466.24 billion rupiah, or greater than the sales proceeds in first semester of 2020. However, during the first 6 months of this year, the total cost of goods sold increased to 227.96 billion rupiah, whereas the same period, or in the same period a year earlier, the total cost of goods sold was only 208 billion rupiah. In line with the decrease in net profit, Fajar's basic earnings per share until the end of the first semester was only 12 rupiah per share, lower than the same period in 2020, which was on the level of 32 rupiah per share. AKR Corporindo or AKRA earned a 20% increase in net profit to 797 billion rupiah until September 2021 compared to the same period last year.
AKR Corporindo or AKRA earned a 20% increase in net profit to 797 billion rupiah until September 2021 compared to the same period last year. The increase in profit was supported by revenue growth of 24% to 17.25 trillion rupiah. Not only that, the increase in profit was also supported by tight cost control. President Director of AKRA, Haryanto Adikusumo, explained the company managed to achieve revenue growth in the trading and distribution segment, which was supported by volume growth and rising commodity prices. AKRA's distribution volumes of fuel and basic chemicals have also increased steadily since the last few quarters, supported by recovery in key customer segments. Going forward, AKRA expects the company's performance to be influenced by the positive impact of the cyclical increase in commodity prices. This is because the global economy is currently experiencing limited supply of key commodities, which has resulted in strong price increases. IDX Channel reports.
Step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still ongoing. Here it is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business and capital market channel. To prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a face mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission of 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So let's wear a mask and get vaccinated, because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.